Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
And that's gotta be Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
Specifically in this episode, you're going to hear that phrase a lot because, hey, we're covering Kane. It's the first of three parts. We're talking about Kane. Specifically, we're talking about Glenn Jacobs, the performer who does Isaac Yankem DDS, the Christmas creature, and then figures it out with Kane, but not before being fake Diesel for a little bit. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this is a show where we cover wrestler through five of the most important matches. If you never joined us before, we're so glad you're here with us. We're going to talk about five of Kane's most important matches. But Kane, especially, he had a long career, so he gets 3 parts, which means he gets 15 matches. I will say we are focusing a lot on like debut Kane to unmasking Kane, because that's the first 2 episodes. And then maskless Kane gets like 15 years of his career get 1 episode.
Yeah, as they should.
As they should. And if you disagree with that, are you like the producer of See No Evil? Like, what the fuck? Why would you disagree with that? What do you know about Kane? What do you know about Kane?
Like, I know that he was burned as a child.
Yes.
I know that he's the brother of the Undertaker.
Yes.
And they lived in a funeral home that burnt down. Kane's mom died, and Kane was said to be
responsible
in this fire, but
yes.
Turns out he's actually responsible for it, and he managed to get out, and he was raised by Paul Bear underneath the nose of the Undertaker, and then he came back. But
I do love how much fucking lore Kane has.
Not without being a rebel and deciding, life has been really traumatic and stuff, so I'm gonna be a dentist. Actually, this dentist thing kind of sucks, so he has an identity crisis and becomes a Christmas creature.
A Christmas creature comes first.
It doesn't matter.
What do you know about Glenn Jacobs, the performer behind Kane? Yeah. So
dickhead.
Glenn Jacobs, the performer who plays Kane, he is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, the only county in Tennessee I can name because I hear it in the news all the fucking time. And you know what? He has some views that you and I disagree with, and it's Pride Month. Happy fucking Pride Month. We recognize that it's weird that we're covering Kane, who has been against all ages drag shows as mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. And so to counteract that, for every single one of these episodes, we are going to be donating some money to an LGBTQ charity to promote things and to kind of give back during Pride. This week, it's Point Foundation, which organizes leadership training, mentoring, and communities and financial support to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer college students from around the world attending U.S.-accredited educational institutions. That is how we're celebrating Pride, by giving back some money, because Glenn Jacobs can get dunked on. All right.
And he can kiss my whole ass.
Jacobs was born in the Spanish town of Torreón de Ardoz to a United States Air Force family that was stationed in Spain at the time of his birth. He was born in Spain.
And he's against immigrants?
Kane was born in Spain and came over on the plane. He grew up near St. Louis, Missouri, attended high school in Bowling Green, where he excelled in football and basketball, and then studied English literature at Northeast Missouri State University, where he played both basketball and football, because you don't get to not play basketball if you're as tall as Kane is.
It's true.
You don't have a choice.
Do you think he was kind of ass? He doesn't strike me as someone who's a very fluid mover. So I feel like he wasn't very tall.
Good. I feel like he was at least strong. Like, I think he's averaging high rebound numbers. You know what I mean?
What the hell was he playing in football?
That's a good question.
Like, you're 7 feet tall. You're not really playing anywhere.
What do you put him as? That's a good question. He was then trained for the wrestling ring by the Shooter, Dean Malenko, as well as Ray Candy and Jeff Bradley. But hey, they don't have fun names. He debuted in 1992 under the ring name Angus King.
What the fuck?
Yeah. We're going to be releasing a tier list video next week of all of the initial ring names of some of the wrestlers we found. I saved Angus King for episode 2 when we do that. So
Angus tongs and perfect snogging. That's all I think about.
In December of 92, he joined the USWA in Memphis, Tennessee, appearing as the Christmas Creature, an evil Christmas character who wore a garish costume apparently made by Glenn Jacobs' own mother that had a green mask, a candy cane striped sleeves, and tinsel. He challenged for the fucking World Heavyweight Championship in the USWA against Jerry Lawler and obviously lost.
Yeah.
Because
you don't put your belt on the Christmas creature.
You got to have more than one holiday in your name if you're going to be world champion. You got to be like the Christmas and 4th of July creature.
Like he can only win on Christmas Eve and Christmas, and then drop the belt immediately on Boxing Day.
He was then hired in January 95 by Jim Cornette for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where he was nicknamed Unabomb. That was another one of his nicknames. This man truly traveled through it to become Kane. It was a lot. He made a team with Al Snow called the Dynamic Duo that feuded with the Rock and Roll Express, which I think is insane.
Is Unabomb into writing?
I love that on the Wikipedia they say his name was Unabomb, in brackets, a reference to the Unabomber. Yeah, no, we figured that out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We figured that one.
Yeah, he's built from a cabin.
Was he into writing?
Probably.
Where was he in the mid-90s? Was he in Oklahoma?
His name's not Ted. Jacobs appeared with WWE as Mike Unabomb at a February 20, 1995 Raw taping, did a dark match, and then made his first television appearance with the company as Isaac Yankem, DDS, Jerry Lawler's private dentist, debuting in June of 95. Yankem was portrayed as a monstrous figure whom Lawler had hired for the purpose of ridding the WWF of his longtime nemesis, Bret Hart. That is where we go. We go to WWF Raw, October 16, 1995, already after Yankem lost by DQ at SummerSlam that year, to see Yankem versus Bret Hart in a cage match.
This is incredible for so many reasons.
Okay, break them down.
The least of which being, why is he wearing those pants?
Isaac Yankem is wrestling in slacks and a curly mullet.
But it's like tights. It's not even like slacks. It's more so like tights.
They're slacks, but they are tight.
They be tight as fuck.
They are like Moose Knuckle City, I think. Like if they weren't black,
dude got the smallest size out of Lululemon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do they come in smaller? Can I get tighter?
Yeah. A lot going on right there. Listen, this is all dumb, but I had to put it in here because I needed an Isaac Yankem match, and I was like, a cage match is way better than a DQ match at SummerSlam for a match that was not very good.
This is all a gimmick with Jerry Lawler. There's no like the actual wrestling here. Like Bret tries to do moves at certain points, but it's all about the Jerry Lawler gimmick.
It's all about Jerry Lawler. I love the blue cage, so I was okay with it. Anytime I get to see the blue cage,
I do love the blue cage.
I'm happy about it. Bring it back, just like a one-off in NXT sometime. Just give it to me. Give me the blue
they
cage.
love to do NXT retro shit.
Yeah.
In
Sean
terms of the
wrestled in
match,
the blue cage, I think. I don't know.
He must have. There's a whole thing where the ref can't get the lock unlocked because Bret kind of gets the advantage. And then we see that Jerry Lawler has switched the locks out because earlier he said he had the key to victory. It's also important Jerry Lawler is 1, on commentary, and 2, is told that if he interferes, he'll be put in his own cage. And immediately he interferes. Yeah. He has no plans otherwise. He's like, I'm getting involved in this fucking matchup.
Yeah, Bret hits a flying clothesline. He puts on a sharpshooter. Yankem's not. He can't. This isn't a pinfall or submission.
He
match.
taps out immediately, but
taps out immediately, but doesn't do anything. Bret lets him go. He goes to escape. Lawler climbs the cage from the outside, punches him down back into the ring, and immediately Gorilla Monsoon comes out and is like, "Hey, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
you go." And then they put him in a shark cage and they lift his ass up.
So Jerry Lawler is getting lifted above the ring and is, I don't know, peeing his pants. He is terrified. Hart tries to leave once again. Yankem pulls him back in as Lawler's above the ring. And then I don't know if I blacked out and missed something here, but all of a sudden Jerry Lawler has like an intense nosebleed. He's like 11 from Stranger Things. Like he is leaking from the face. What happened to him?
I guess he got so scared that his nose started bleeding.
That's not a thing.
I don't know. It's wrestling, man. Like, what are we doing here? Neither is a dentist that's 7 foot tall, but here we are.
You're going to the wrong dentist. I just thought it was weird. I was like, did he get hit? Did he, like, what happened? And all of a sudden, he's just bleeding from the nose. Is he just concentrating so hard on the match that his brain is just shaking?
Can you imagine you go to the dentist and suddenly, like, Carl Anthony Towns is your dentist? Just
Like,
walk in that.
shouldn't you be
Just walk
shooting
into that.
threes?
Just walk into that whole Kristaps Porzingis just staring you down. Like,
Which 7-footer would you trust most to be your dentist?
ooh,
Yeah.
Zach Edey.
He's been in Purdue the whole time. He must have learned
Yeah,
something.
Purdue's a great school. That's
Purdue's a
why.
great school. Yeah,
Oh
that's
no!
fair.
Oh, one of the Lopez twins.
Yeah,
They
I
went
was
to
gonna say
Stanford.
Brooke Lopez. Yeah.
They went to Stanford. They're smart as hell too.
We take another commercial break. When we get back, Hart has a sidewalk slam. Yankem stops him again. Yankem hits the DDS, which is just his DDT. Okay,
I've always liked Kane's DDT. I will say.
it is good.
We'll talk about that more later.
Yankem does a hard whip into the ropes. Lawler then takes out a key from his pocket and drops it to Yankem so he can unlock the lock. He unlocks it. Hart does like a victory roll on Yankem, and I swear to God, punches him directly in the dick.
Nah, fam. So he does the Okada roll and then punches him directly in the taint. That is a taint shot if I've ever seen one.
Commentary says it's a face shot that he punched him in the face. I'm
It-
like, he's nowhere near his face.
It is a taint shot if I have ever seen one. I don't know what whatever anyone wants to call it, the gooch, the poop shoot, the safety blanket, don't matter. It is a tape. It is a taint shot if I've ever seen one.
He definitely, you know what? It's a taint shot, and it's a kill shot. Hart throws the key away. Bulldog, backbreaker, diving middle rope elbow. He climbs up. He climbs out. Bret Hart wins.
Yes, he does.
Isaac Yankem DDS goes away very quickly.
As he friggin' should.
We would not think about him if Kane did not have a longer career. Kane would then next be fake Diesel. Because remember when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, who were known as Diesel and Razor Ramon, went to WCW, and Jim Ross, who was weirdly kind of heel at the time, was like, don't worry, guys. We still have Diesel and Razor Ramon. Everyone was like, no, you don't. And so they tried to Glenn Jacobs as Diesel, who does not look like Kevin Nash, and Rick Bogner as Razor Ramon, who does not have anything close to the charisma of Scott Hall.
Remotely similar to Scott Hall.
Diesel and Roman last appeared at the 97 Royal Rumble, where, weirdly, Diesel was the third last person in the Rumble. Like, I didn't know Diesel, that.
Right?
Fake Diesel was the third last person in the 97 Rumble.
This is Austin and Bret at the end, and then Bret throws out Austin, but he slips back in and he throws out Bret, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Then he would do some sporadic live events as Diesel. Him and Razor Ramon went, and I say Razor Ramon as lightly as I can. Him and Fake Razor went to work for AAA in Mexico. And on June 24th, 97, he lost to Rick Bogner, to Razor Ramon, in a loser leaves town match at USWA. This is all because they had started to set up the lore of Kane.
Yes.
I will say this, and I say this with no hyperbole at all. Kane as a character has the deepest lore of any character probably in all of professional wrestling.
It's deeper than The Undertaker's.
It is. It is more layered. It is deeper than The Undertaker. It has so much to go on. It is some of the best world building that WWE has ever done. Is just the layers of Kane. Are there holes? Absolutely there's holes. But it doesn't matter because he has so much to him. It's so cool. So, at your house, Kane showed up.
Home.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker. Undertaker launched a fireball into the face of Paul Bearer, who was no longer his manager. And then did this previously, he was working with Mankind, all that. On the May 12th edition of Raw, Mankind reintroduced Bearer, who attempted to reunite with Undertaker because of his status as WWF champion. This Undertaker was like, absolutely not, go away. And then Bearer said, "Oh, Undertaker," and essentially said, "I'm not going to do the Paul Bearer voice the whole time." He's like, "Hey, I know your deepest, darkest secret." Excellent. You sounded very angelic there. So he says, like, you should be with me because I know your deepest, darkest secret. Undertaker was like, yeah, like, I'll you know what? I want to keep that secret under lock and key. So he went back with Bearer and then eventually
black box.
Lost his patience. What was in the lockbox? Bearer, once he gets kicked to the curb by Undertaker, reveals Kane. that Kane was coming to WWF to challenge him. Bear disclosed the things you mentioned earlier. Undertaker had started a fire in his family's funeral home. It was actually Kane, in fact, murdering his whole family. Kane, who the Undertaker had thought dead from the incident, was left physically and mentally scarred. Undertaker claimed that Kane was a pyromaniac and the one who started the fire and could not have possibly survived. There's no way. Weirdly, in October 98,
Yeah.
Undertaker confessed to burning down the home to try to murder Kane. And then later on, they're like, Kane actually started the fire. This is what I mean by
Kane started the fire.
There are some holes, but it's still fine.
We got there in the end.
Our promo this week is Kane's debut. Why is our promo Kane's debut?
Because Kane doesn't talk.
Kane doesn't fucking talk, and it was the best decision. Kane should have never talked.
Nah, the best thing was when he had the little like...
the voice modulator? Yeah.
He had the voice modulator. When Kane talked for the first time with X-Pac, it was like... I almost put that in here. I'm not going to lie to you.
Do you know what Kane's first words were?
Nope.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Correct. His first words were suck it. So since Kane doesn't really cut long promos and we don't want to listen to a Paul Bearer promo, we watched the debut, which also is probably the greatest debut in WWF history.
It's number 2 for me.
What's behind?
Jericho.
Oh, the countdown was so good.
I will always say Jericho is the best debut in the history of that company.
That's really good. We're at In Your House, Bad Blood, 1997. It's the Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. I want to say one thing, and that's that I want to shake Jim Johnson's hand.
Oh, yeah.
The Kane theme is immediate aura, plus just 1,000.
Oh, the red hue, the organ going stupid.
Yeah.
Eventually, it would get added and rip, chopped and screwed up a little bit, and it sounded even better.
Yeah.
But the original one, where it's just the organ and it's so good.
It's such a good theme, and immediately you can feel the energy change, and they're like, "Whoa,
yeah,
who is this guy?"
The energy has shifted.
Listed 7 foot, 323 pounds. Kane, legit imposing presence.
Covered from face to toe.
That's the big thing. He had the one arm that was exposed, which I thought was a cool bit. He just has one arm that's not burnt to shit.
Did he at the beginning?
I don't remember if in the beginning.
No, in the beginning he didn't. He had both arms. It wasn't until late. I don't know if it was later in the year or in the 99 when he finally started.
No, Kane's debut he's got the one arm.
Oh, all right.
Kane's debut, he's got the left arm free. He's got no glove on it, but it does have the wrist thing. I remember, I obviously wasn't watching in 97. When I started watching in 99, I was like, Kane is the most intimidating thing I've ever seen.
My brother used to always say he was scared of The Undertaker. And I was like, you're scared of The Undertaker? Fuck no, I'm scared of Kane.
The reason that Kane works, aside from his imposing presence, the aura, the music, everything works, part of it also is masks where you cannot read the person's emotion work so well. They work so
Michael Myers.
Yes,
being
exactly.
The prime example of it.
Generic face. You cannot read what is going on. There's nothing to give it away. It's just his face. It's just the same. It's so good.
Just stone cold every time. He comes out. Everyone's going crazy. They're like, what is that? And then you just hear, that's gotta be Kane.
I love it that he says it 3 times, but only finishes it twice. He goes, that's gotta be Kane. Kane rips the fucking cell door off its hinges. Immediate
Not
pop.
the last one. I know it did seem like he got the last one off, but the space was enough that he could get through.
Kane got most of the door off most of the hinges.
He's not Mark Henry.
It's still more doors and hinges than I can rip off. Okay?
It is. Hey, you're not wrong.
Hey, I know. I'm right.
You're not wrong. They stare down him and The Undertaker. Taker is spooked. It is the first time we've ever seen The Undertaker spooked in any capacity since he debuted.
Also, Kane does the thing where he raises his arms up and then he drops them down and the fire shoots out of the turnbuckles. Now,
Taker was like, what the fuck?
We all know this as part of Kane, right? You have to think about this with context. We've never seen this man before.
Yeah.
That music hits, the lights are red, he rips a door off its hinges, and then he makes fire appear. Kane is the coolest motherfucker on the planet immediately.
We will talk about Kane being a babyface this whole time in the next match.
Yes. He tombstones the Undertaker. Michaels gets the win. It's great booking. It's a great debut.
Awesome. Terrific. I loved everything about this. That Hell in a Cell match is legitimately one of the best, probably the best Hell in a Cell match of all time. Debut aside, it probably still would be. But because of the debut, obviously it's added. It just adds so much more to it. It's incredible.
We rewatched it, I believe, for the Undertaker
one of those two
three-parter,
guys.
which I think we're going to put the Undertaker 3-parter on YouTube as well. If you've never listened to the Undertaker episodes, we'll put the Undertaker episodes on here.
Yeah,
which is nice. But I always love the Undertaker Mankind Hell in a Cell match. But when you watch the totality of this one, it's a different thing. It depends on what you're into, right? But this is the best match.
Yeah, I mean, Bear and Kane walk out, and it's just like, what the hell just happened? Like, I can't imagine being in the crowd that night, like, because you're just like, what the fuck?
It's a wild time. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we get back, Undertaker and Kane square off at WrestleMania 14. Back from the break, and initially, Undertaker wanted nothing to do with fighting his brother. He refused to hit him. He refused to face him. Undertaker claimed he'd promised his parents he would never do harm to his own flesh and blood. After what was thought to be a brief partnership, Kane betrayed Undertaker, costing him the WWF Championship, and then interfered in his title match against Shawn Michaels at the Rumble. You know, the one that causes Shawn Michaels to retire for 4 years? That one. After the match, Kane locked Undertaker in a casket and set it on fire. Kane loves fire, and he also loves committing crimes. We should have a little counter of the amount of crimes that Kane commits in the course.
Like 4 already.
Yeah, and then attempted murder that's a big one.
He's on like 4 when he debuted. Like,
after a couple months of absence, Undertaker resurrected. I love that he's the only guy who gets to use that fucking verb. Undertaker just came back to life. I don't want to be dead anymore. I'm still here. So yeah, he came back to life, in which he was reproduced from a coffin that was struck by lightning, and then challenged Kane for WrestleMania 14. Now,
the coffin struck by lightning thing is hilarious because it's not even the last time he would do that.
No, there's a well he loves, okay, and he's like, it's like if My Chemical Romance was still making music, it would still sound the same, and I'd be like, I still like it, but like, you guys want to do anything else? I'd be like, no.
It's like everything sounds like Helena, and that's it.
And Helena is excellent. You know what's not excellent? This match.
Pete Rose.
This match is good. It's not great.
Honestly, I've always heard that this match didn't deliver, that it was shit, blah, 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 blah. I think it's fine.
I think the intensity is off. I think the pacing is a little off of the match.
I don't hate it.
But the match itself is good. Like, I think there are good parts of the match. What are your thoughts on Pete Rose being out here?
I fucking hate it. I wrote the entire thing he said. He gets on the mic. Pete Rose comes out first. They introduce him. He's a celebrity, whatever. Who cares?
He is being booed heavily by the Boston faithful. I would like to throw that out there.
Yes, he is, because they beat us in the World Series back in the 70s.
People don't forget.
Last time I was here, we kicked your ass. Sure, man.
Boo.
Then he goes, you can't win a World Series. We've got fucking 4 since then. My buddy Bucky Dent says hi. Fuck Bucky Dent. I forget what he says exactly. Something.
He dropped tickets, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for Bill Buckner to pick up, but he couldn't. Fuck you. And R.I.P. Bill Buckner.
I would like to also remind people who maybe are new listeners or have forgotten, Javier is from Boston.
I'm a Red Sox fan. Wait for it. Very much so.
He's got a little Red Sox hat or helmet
that I put on a Squirtle.
I genuinely thought it was going to be on your cat. Kane comes out here because Pete Rose is the ring announcer. Kane comes out and stares down Pete Rose, tombstones him, and that gets Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I just have to say right now, this is the biggest babyface moment I have ever seen. By the way, that not a single person boos Kane for the rest of this match.
Nope.
Because
Boston
why
is
would
on
they?
board. I wrote here, Kane is the babyface.
Kane is now the babyface. Kane has been a babyface this whole time.
Undertaker gets Druids for his entrance. Always a good time.
Sure.
Don't like that they say that they represent the creatures of the night. I was like, all right, that's weird. That's a weird vibe. I don't think that.
But I don't know why Thriller was the first thing that came to mind.
Is this Undertaker's best ring jacket? The like high collar one? I kind of think it is.
Like the Ministry
Yeah,
type of deal?
like right before, because this is like the precursor to Ministry. Like right before he really gets like deep into the occult, and he's got the one that's got like the triangle behind him. That's super. I think it's
Yeah,
really
I
good.
mean, he wears that in the Ministry, doesn't he?
Yeah, like a very similar vibe. I think that's his best look.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. The trench coat is just kind of weird because now you just look like fucking Blade. You're
What's going on,
with
White?
a singlet.
What's going on, White Shaft? How you doing? Texas Red. Go when it drops this week on our YouTube at Crossbody of Work. Please watch this tier list of us ranking the really the worst first ever ring names of wrestlers, because Undertaker's Texas Red name is on there. I think it ends up in the D tier.
Probably.
So this match is good.
It's solid.
I do think the two biggest issues with the match itself are the lack of intensity after the initial stare down. I think that the initial stare down is great because they're like, oh, we want to just do it. I think they could have a blood feud like this. You have to start another feud. I'm glad they start with punches and not a collar and elbow tie up. I'm glad that is something they do. But they want to get into it quickly, but they don't get into it quick enough that then when they pull back for kind of rest spots that happen later, the pacing just kind of feels all over the place in this match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The action itself is good. The pacing is off.
Yeah, they explode immediately with punches back and forth, mostly the Undertaker. Kane is no-selling the shit out of these punches because for the first like year of his existence, Kane did not sell.
Kane took no damage.
Because he's Kane, and he shouldn't be selling.
Kane just said light work, no reaction, just walked away.
Hell yeah. Kane's short arm clothesline. I love Kane's short arm clotheslines. They're great every time.
It is good.
He rams Undertaker into the corner in like the tombstone position, just small of his back straight into the turnbuckles.
Yep.
Kane with the top rope punch. I know they say it's a clothesline. It's a punch.
It's a punch. It's a punch
every single time.
But it is my favorite Kane move.
It's my second favorite. My favorite is still his DDT. I just like the way it looks every time. He does like a little running thing.
And it's not my favorite Kane like move. Like it's my favorite Kane like actual move. My favorite like offense Kane does is his right hand.
Oh, the uppercut, yeah.
Kane's uppercut is unbelievable.
The uppercut is, in my opinion, the best punch in wrestling.
I would stand behind you.
Like it just is.
So good. We get to the outside. Kane is out there first. Drops Taker face first on the barricade. He hits steps. The steps get hit to the back of the head of Kane. There's a fan who has a foam finger, and he just goes, "Hey, Paul!" Hits him with the middle finger with the foam finger. Exactly what foam fingers are supposed to be used for.
It's true.
I screenshot it and put it on our Twitter. Go check that out.
Oh God. Kane choke slam, and then he lifts the Undertaker up by the hair on
disrespect. Could have ended the streak right there.
We get 2 long headlock spots.
This is where I wrote. This is where I started. I was like, the pacing of this match is weird.
Yeah. Taker goes for tope. You know the Taker dive.
Mm-hmm.
Kane sidesteps his ass, and Taker just goes crashing through the Spanish announce table.
He sidesteps him and just puts his hands up to kind of guide Taker through the announce table. Like, you're going to go this way now, which I thought was actually pretty good.
Here's where you're going to sleep.
Yeah, you go sleep now. Kane does his diving punch in the ring for a 2. A tombstone is attempted by Taker. Kane reverses it for his own for a 2 count. Then Taker's got the offense. Choke slam. Tombstone. Kane with a shoulder up being the first person to not be pinned by the tombstone.
That's true. We get a leaping leg drop by Taker. Kane sits up immediately. Tombstone for a near fall. Taker does a flying clothesline. Kane just keeps getting up.
Yeah. We do get a third tombstone, and Kane kicks out at 3.1. So Undertaker wins, but Kane immediately gets the kick out once the third fall has hit.
It's the Hogan Warrior thing.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's the Hogan Warrior thing. Immediately, Paul Bearer in the ring and is putting the boots to Taker, which is such a funny visual. It's so funny. Paul Bearer
Just this
Oh, get some.
short, stumpy man going in there. Oh, boots to asses, BTS, baby.
Paul Bear looks like sentient mashed potatoes, and he's kicking the ass of the Undertaker. It's so good. It's the best thing. Taker up, he clocks Bear out of the ring. Kane gets a steel chair, gets his licks back. Taker gets tombstone out of chair. So as much as Kane loses any undefeated streak, he just taking damage. Undertaker is still worse for wear after their match.
Oh, he took out the tapioca man. Oh, that
Kane
ain't
would
right.
lose an Inferno match to Taker, a match they invented because Kane loves fire so much and then got lit on fire.
And he's just staring at his arm like this.
At Over the Edge in Your House, Kane would defeat Vader in a mask versus mask match. And then on the June 1st episode of Raw's War, Kane defeated The Undertaker to become the #1 contender for the WWF Championship. At King of the Ring 98, he would face the WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin in a First Blood match. What problems do you foresee with Kane in the First Blood match?
Every part of him is covered except for his arm.
Yes. That's apparently not going to be... That's apparently fine.
Austin said, fuck it.
Austin said, fuck it. He said, that's
I'll
fine.
do it.
Yeah.
This clip, I apologize profusely. I didn't realize it was filmed by the potato from which Paul Bearer was made from.
It was filmed poorly. It was filmed incredibly poorly.
Austin is so fucking over at this point. So it is unreal.
Oh, also, I want to talk about the stakes of the match. So the WWF Championship is on the line. However, also, if Kane loses, let me read this right. He's going to light himself on fire and fucking die. Did you not hear that on commentary? If Kane loses this match, not only is he not WWF champion, he will self-immolate. He will light himself on fire and die. So the stakes are high. Austin is so popular. He comes out and jumping Kane immediately, drops an elbow. Kane sits up. Belt shot. Kane sits up. Austin exposes a turnbuckle. They're trying to just whip each other into it. It's good stuff. It's a lot happening.
I didn't know about the death part.
You didn't know he was going to die?
Just took me down. All right. Austin can't keep Kane down. The Hell in a Cell is being lowered for no reason whatsoever. Just none.
Vibes. And
the cell is coming down.
As it's falling down, Austin gets Irish whipped towards the barricade, and because the cell comes down, gets just his head taken off by the cell.
Yeah, literally, we lost Stone Cold Steve Austin that night. It's the Paul McCartney thing where they replaced him with someone that looks just like
another Stone Cold, another bald Texan.
Yeah, that's why his career only went a few years after this. We couldn't keep him around anymore because it wasn't the same guy.
It is wild this match follows Mankind Undertaker directly.
Yes, I know.
So what you're saying is we saw Mankind almost die, and then the next match we have a match where the stakes are that if he doesn't win, Kane will die.
And Austin dies.
There's too much.
There's so much death.
We were just burning through wrestlers in 1998.
What is it? Trey Parker? Is that the guy that made South Park?
Yeah, Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah, those two guys booked this match, this pay-per-view. So Kane is crushing Austin with the cell under literally in the corner with the cell. Yeah. And then at one point, Austin, the door's open. Austin smacks him, just whips him right into the freaking corner where the door, the hinges are on the door. Yeah. And Kane takes a nasty bump. It makes a terrible noise.
We then brawl up the ramp.
No, he's just kind of dangling on the the doorway, and the cage goes up, and Kane is just fucking hanging by his midsection there. Austin's fucking lighting him up with punches. It's hilarious.
It's a weird time. We brawl up the ramp a little bit. Kane hits a suplex on the entry ramp, throws a barricade just at Austin's head. That's fun. Austin brings Kane back in the ring, running Kane to the exposed turnbuckle. Obviously, Kane's not going to be able to be busted open. He's got all this. He's got a mask on. What are you going to see?
He's probably bleeding, but can't tell.
Austin hits Kane with anything he can find, and then Kane choke pushes Austin, who bumps Earl Hebner. Kane is a babyface. Kane is the biggest babyface.
Kane's the biggest babyface ever. Austin may be the babyface in this match, but not to me. Damn it. Austin hits Kane on the exposed turnbuckle repeated. He hits him. Yeah. He makes his head hit it, and then he just starts literally hitting him repeatedly. Nothing can be done to bust this man open. Then Mankind comes out.
Mankind, you just fell off of a cell twice.
You could tell by the way he's running, air quotes, running, that he does not look right.
He's not okay.
Because he's not.
Austin starts fighting Mankind, stunners him, turns around into Kane, stunners Kane. Here comes Undertaker in like warm up gear. He's in like a black t-shirt.
This is what he showed up to WrestleMania in this year.
He clocks Austin with a chair shot to the head, clotheslines Kane
Was
and
that on purpose?
I don't know.
Because it looked like he was going for Mankind, but Mankind fell, and then Austin was also going with a chair shot, and he hit the chair back into Austin.
He clotheslines Kane and Mankind to the outside, and then is gonna light Earl Hebner on fire.
I respect that. Now the Undertaker, if he's a heel, that's a babyface turn for me.
I don't remember the context going into this feud because, like, essentially, this is like a 4-way feud happening that comes out of this.
Does it need context?
If you're gonna light someone on fire, you need a little bit of context.
No.
Yes.
There doesn't need to be any context for lighting Earl Hebner on fire. He fucking deserves it.
Kane stops him. Austin hits a headshot on Kane, but Austin is super bloody from the headshot he got from Undertaker. One of the second Earl sees that the match is called. Kane is your WWF World Heavyweight Champion in 1998.
Spoiler alert for everyone that's listening to this. It is the only time he has ever won the WWE title.
Kane would lose that WWE title the next night on Raw.
Yeah.
Tough.
Not a good look.
We're going to take our last break. When we get back, Kane is going to be friends with and then beat the shit out of X-Pac. Back from the break, Kane would team with Mankind for a little bit, win the WWF Tag Team Championships twice, I believe, and then leave him to team in the Brothers of Destruction with his brother, The Undertaker, because, you know, blood is thicker than water. Getting lit on fire is not as thick as getting the WWF Tag Team titles, I guess. Then he buried The Undertaker in a buried alive match that he had with Austin, so I guess brothers can go fuck themselves. As a result, the corporation had Kane committed to an insane asylum. Because that's a thing they have the power to do, apparently. They're like, hey, our employee, Glenn, is nuts. And so we're gonna put him in an insane asylum. Or if he doesn't want to go to the insane asylum, he can be in the corporation with us.
You know, I think that time in the insane asylum says a lot for why Glenn Jacobs is the way that he is now.
I think you nailed it right there. Kane aligned himself with Chyna and feuded with Triple H. At WrestleMania 15, Kane was betrayed by Chyna and thrown out of the corporation and started teaming with X-Pac. He even got himself a girlfriend in Tori.
Oh.
Yeah, while teaming with X-Pac, Kane evolved from being mute to aided speech through the electrolarynx, which is the
socket.
He became associated with the X, and of course, his first unaided words were the DX slogan, "Suck it." Our fourth match is from SummerSlam 1999. It is Kane and X-Pac defending the tag titles against The Undertaker and Big Show.
I would have put them winning the title, but that match kind of sucks.
Was it on a Raw?
It was just like a random throwaway match on Raw, yeah.
I would like you to rank Kane's tag team partners.
Okay, so it's X-Pac, RVD, Danielson, Taker.
So we have
I need the list.
We have Undertaker.
Yeah.
We have Daniel Bryan. We have Big Show.
Oh, God.
We have X-Pac.
Okay.
And we have Hurricane. And we have Rob Van Dam.
I don't remember Hurricane, so he's last.
Okay, that's fair.
Then Big Show, because I didn't need that 3 different times. X-Pac, RVD. Although that's really close. X-Pac, then RVD. And then my top 2 is the Brothers of Destruction and Team Hell No. I'll give it to the Brothers of Destruction because we got that multiple times, and I thought it was good every time we got it.
That's fair.
But I love Team Hell No. So, but yeah, Brothers of Destruction 1, Team Hell No 2.
That's a good list. X-Pac and Kane, though, weirdly worked. I don't know why.
It's because we hate X-Pac, but he's tiny. So when you put him next to a lovable big guy, sure. We accept.
I have 2 outfit notes because that's the most important things here is the gear.
Yeah.
One, this is the debut of the inverted red and black gear for Kane,
Wow.
which is one of my favorite Kane looks. Is when
He
he
looks
just
fucking great. He's jacked to the gills at this
he is
point.
so fucking ripped. It's scary. Also, this is the Paul Bearer look that is in WWF No Mercy. And the only reason I remember that is because during the intro package, like the intro thing of WWF No Mercy, you have a very
Yeah.
like prominent clip of Paul Bearer behind Kane, I believe, and he's in this exact suit. And I'm like, I fucking seen this before. That's in No
Yeah.
Mercy.
The blending of the themes between X-Pac's DX theme and Kane's song
Yeah.
was interesting, but I kind of liked it.
It's interesting. I like it. I need more of Kane.
I need a little more
It's
Kane.
too DX forward.
But it's also not enough of the dumb X-Pac. Sorry, it doesn't have a lot of the dumb X-Pac's elements to his version of it. So I'm okay with it.
You mean it's lacking Uncle Cracker?
Just a like I don't need that.
That was a flawless X-Pac impression. What do you think of the match?
I mean, it's not great, honestly. Like it's not. It really isn't.
It's a fine match. I weirdly think X-Pac's the best part in this match.
Which is like saying so, he's not bad. I can't say anything about that, which is saying something. Like a 1, 2, 3 kid, Sean Waltman is legitimately good wrestler.
A talented wrestler, yes.
Yeah. So like that's not taking a lot. It's just kind of like there's not enough build up to the Kane hot tag. And that's what I wanted here. I wanted the build up, X-Pac getting actually rocked for a long period of time. And then I needed the formula was right there for them, and I didn't get it. And because of that, I'm disappointed.
There's a lot of X-Pac. There's a lot of X-Pac being a shit disturber. Like that is a strong portion of this match. I think my favorite bit in this whole match, we're at ringside. X-Pac is hitting the suck it taunt to the Undertaker, a bold proposition as always.
So bold.
Taker clocks him immediately. He's about to chokeslam him. As he gets raised up, Kane, who's in the ring, just picks up X-Pac further and deposits him back in the ring. And Undertaker's just holding his hand in the air like the Statue of Liberty. And he's like, where'd the little guy go?
I will say that is like I know X-Pac doesn't weigh that much, but that's like an incredible feat of strength by Kane.
Kane is so jacked to the gills.
Strong as fuck to be able to do
that. Crazy.
Yeah, that was freaking hilarious.
It's the best spot of the match.
We get a flying fist for a near fall. Taker hits a DDT. Then Big Show comes in, and he's like doing his chops in the corner, like the overhead down chops that he does. That it like suck for everybody, but not Kane because he's no selling that shit.
No selling it.
Joe's a nice looking power slam for a near fall at one point.
He does. We get tagged to X-Pac. He gets the spin heel kick to Taker, 2 count, a bunch of kicks. Show just grabs him by the shoulders and just whips him down from the apron.
Yeah.
X-Pac gets dropped on his throat in the barricade. Show military presses X-Pac from the ringside into the apron.
That's so embarrassing for him.
It's so funny.
Like imagine that happening to you. Like, it's not even like emasculating as a man. It's like, damn, I just got fucking tossed, bro.
Damn, I was groceries. Like, I just got moved.
like it's not even like, oh, he just like he just ruined my manhood or anything like that. Because that's dumb, and I don't agree with that. Yeah. But like, you're just like a human being that got launched.
Damn,
bro.
I'm dainty. That's crazy.
It's not even that. It's just, damn. Like, I do this shit to pillows. You know,
I can do this to my cat, and that's
like, this is what I do to stuff to make it get in the top part of the closet. I just go like that, you know.
Also, my cat snuck in here while we're recording because I don't know if people who are watching, you can see that my door is now open.
Oh,
because the problem with this door, we bought a pretty old house. It's got old like latches or something, and it doesn't actually close properly, so I just barricade it essentially so my cat doesn't come in during recording. And I didn't barricade it with something heavy enough, and he just pushed it open and leapt inside.
So hey, it's okay. Superstar
under the bed over here. He's just thriving.
Listen, we all the fans know our cats are the Crossbody mascots.
That's true. They are. Hey, speaking of superstars, X-Pac's a superstar by just kicking people in the dick. That is his big move here.
By the way, I don't know how he gets away with the mule kick, but
Kane is
he's like
100% supposed to be distracting the ref, and he isn't. And so the ref is just staring as he kicks him in the nuts.
he low blows Show.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like the Taker is distracting the ref. That's
Yeah.
okay. The mule kick that happens like seconds later to Taker, it just is right in front of the referee.
The ref is right there.
X-Pac kicks Taker out of the ring.
Yeah. We also get the hot tag. The hot tag for Kane.
Yeah, solid. But it like wasn't built up enough, so I'm not hyped enough about it.
That's fair.
And then that affects the score. And so the Kane hot tag here, I'm gonna have to give it like a 4.
Ooh, low. I was gonna give it at least a 6.
No, because he doesn't. It's just the feeling
you
has to be
know-
part of it.
It's because he's capable of more. That's what it is.
The
You're judging him on a curve.
Got to be part of it.
Yeah.
So and if you take the feeling out of it, like it's a 6 in actuality. Like it's a 6 in theory because the moves and all that stuff necessitate a 6.
Yeah.
But you take out the feeling. There wasn't enough build up for me. So that the hot tag is not hot. It's room temperature.
X-Pac gets Bronco Buster, which everyone pops for.
Yes.
Big Show just hits a chokeslam on him and then hits the cocky pin where he stands on him with one foot. X-Pac manages to kick out. This infuriates the Undertaker.
Yeah, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Great.
Get out of this right now.
Taker with a tombstone, pinfall. We got new tag champs. He pins X-Pac, obviously. Taker's staring a fucking hole through Big Show.
What the fuck are you doing?
I forgot that this storyline, part of the storyline, was Undertaker getting Big Show to take things more seriously. That's a big part of their storyline partnership that I had just forgotten about. And I was like, oh, that's actually a good wrinkle because Big Show was like maybe having too much fun out there and too cocky with the size. Undertaker's like, no, you got to hone it. You got to get in there.
You got to get in there. You got to beat that fucking ass.
Speaking of beating ass, Kane and X-Pac broke apart when X-Pac turned on Kane and rejoined DX because X-Pac cannot be trusted.
No, you can't trust him in any way, shape, or form.
We started with a steel cage match. We're going to end with a steel cage match. It is Armageddon 1999. It is Kane versus X-Pac in a steel cage. The clip starts with X-Pac getting interviewed about his demands for the match because Kane had only demanded this match on Heat. People used to just demand matches for pay-per-views on Sunday Night Heat. They would interrupt a fucking Stevie Richards and S.A. Rios segment, and they would demand matches.
This is like saying this is literally like, I don't even know what's a hot feud. This is like the like, I guess the hot feud right now is.
Imagine if Chad Gable and Otis decided they were going to have a match on Twitter 3 hours before a PLE.
Yeah, just like after Speed, right? Sami Zayn gets called out by Chad Gable. Just like, I want another Intercontinental title match at Clash of the Castle.
And they're like, God, you should have been watching Speed. Kane can only win by pinfall. X-Pac can win by leaving the cage, though. And X-Pac tells Kane to tell his old lady, Tori, to quit calling his hotel at all hours of the night. I've put in brackets, Tori would very shortly turn on Kane.
And be X-Pac's
girlfriend. Yep. This era of X-Pac looks like he sells Adderall outside your high school. I think what it is the bandana plus bucket hat where neither one is properly on.
You're so on point with that too. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
Like that era, like if you take the look that he has right there and you fast forward to 2024, he thinks that he's going to be the best producer to ever grace hip hop.
Yeah, and he's the weirdest melodies, and it's all 808s. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's like he takes like random things from memes, and he thinks, "Oh, this is so creative that I put this in here."
Flames, absolute flames.
Facts. I fucks with it.
X-Pac goes to Tori at ringside. Kane climbs up and over the top of the cage that he was already in, and knocks the bucket hat off of X-Pac's head.
I love it.
X-Pac gets a ring bell shot on Kane that he pretty much no sells. Kane still, his power level in 1999 is still very fucking high.
Yeah, it's not at 100%, but it's probably at like 90.
90? Yeah, like it's in the 90s for sure.
Yeah, he's a tank, and it's still. Kane catches X-Pac and slams his ass down.
Yeah,
and he hits a military press. X-Pac does hit a spinning heel kick. He tries climbing out. Kane stops him. X-Pac just starts like speedballing these kicks. Like he is just jackham, like just
He's
boom,
spamming.
boom, 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 boom. He's spamming kicks right now. And Kane falls, he gets crotched.
During this, there was a part I want to talk about in commentary that I never needed to hear in my life. JR, and obviously it's JR and the King. And the King is making a bunch of comments about X-Pac and about Tori. And JR says, "Can you please get away from all these penis innuendos?" And the involuntary jolt through my body of what the fuck when I heard Jim Ross say penis.
It's like, are you talking about your relationship with Missy Hyatt right now?
Oh, rocked her
Rocked his
world.
world.
And he rocked mine.
It's crazy.
We get the New Age Outlaws coming out. They're here. They break the chain at the door. Billy Gunn tries to he hits the cage door in Kane's face and sends a chair into X-Pac. And we get an X Factor on the chair.
X Factor on the chair, and he doesn't go for a pin or anything. He just handcuffs Kane to the cage, I believe.
Yes, or to the ropes, because the New Age Outlaws had thrown some handcuffs into the ring as well. A couple unprotected chair shots to the noggin of Kane, which also could have affected his ability to come up with good decisions as the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Oh, God.
Tori climbs in the ring, brings down X-Pac from the ropes. X Factor to Tori, did not see that coming, forgot what year it was, forgot it was 1999, and they did this all the time.
Yeah. Kane kicks the chair back into X-Pac's face. Kane breaks the handcuffs, leaves through like the doors as X-Pac is climbing out of the cage. He leaves through the doors, but he obviously doesn't win because
he can't win that way.
is now that he can't win that way. He does that. He as X-Pac's climbing down, Kane grabs him, puts him on his shoulders like he's in an electric chair position.
Yeah.
Puts him back into the ring before his feet can hit the floor. He slams the door in X-Pac's face. He hits a flying fist from the top of the cage. The top part of the cage.
It's sick.
Which is so unbelievably unnecessary. Gets back up. Tombstone. 1, 2, 3. Kane wins the match.
What did you think watching this era and the development of the beginning parts of Kane?
It's awesome. I love the first 3-4 years of Kane. Honestly, even a little bit after the mask, I would say up until 2000.
I think the initial post-mask run is some of his best stuff up until probably the Lita stuff, and ended up being good, but that's probably right after that's where it just stops.
Then I'm still in 2005 when he really fades into the background, and he's not really.
No, I still like the Lita feud, the Lita stuff, but it's after that you're right when he fades away a little bit.
Because we get the reunion with Paul Bear, we get the second WrestleMania match with Taker.
Yeah,
which I mean,
I killed you.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of that stuff's gonna have to be on here. But yeah, it's good. I love it. The first 7 years of Kane's run is incredible.
Yes,
it's truly elite stuff. As a big man, one of the best big men of all time. We'll dissect that more, I guess, on the last part of this 3 parts, because we got to talk about the entirety of his career. But for the first 3 years, 2-3 years here of his career, it's good. It's good stuff. The work rate, it was never going to be a thing with Kane because he's just not. That's not his character.
It's not his style. It's not his character. Yeah.
I think as far as people committing to the bit, committing to the character, really incorporating their in-ring style around that, Kane is up there with Taker and people who really took their character and made every single thing that they did about the character and the story that comes along with it.
I agree. I think he got the gimmick, and I think WWF did a really good job with the gimmick, protecting it in a way. There's a reason we're focusing on the early career of Kane in these 3-parters. So next week, Kane Part 2, obviously. That one's going to have Brothers of Destruction reunion. That one's going to have the Royal Rumble 2001 performance. It's going to have the unmasking. That's going to be big. So that's what we got coming for you next week.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
You should rate the podcast 5 stars wherever you're listening. You should give it a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. You should like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast, whether that is on Spotify, Apple Music. You should share with a friend. You probably have somebody who grew up watching the Attitude Era, and you're like, hey, They're covering Kane. Kane's a big part of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Get them on board with episode 1 so you can enjoy all 3 episodes and talk about it later on. Tell us other people you want to see us cover after this. Of course, we have a big thing coming up in August. That is Haas Month, where we cover only the biggest, the baddest of the boys and girls who wrestle. That's going to be very exciting. But aside from Haas Month in August, tell us who you want to see covered on the podcast. Also, be sure to check out the merch. It is available in the link of the podcast show notes, as well as in the description of the YouTube video. Javi's got the hat. He's got the thing. I'm rocking my Johnny Gargano and my DIY shirt right now, and I got my
Toronto Blue Jays
Blue Jays cap on. I'm a little blue boy today. Also, hit us up on social media. Hit up Javier wherever he tells you right now.
On the Twitter machine at JMello Sports. Lob the boy a follow. Just do it.
Follow me as well at It's Evan Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. But most importantly of all, follow the podcast at Crossbody of Work on Twitter, on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're now on the road to 350 subscribers because we already passed 300. Thank you so much for everyone who subscribes. Shout out to Crispy Crisp, who's been in the comments each of the last couple episodes, doing good stuff. We appreciate you very much, our friend. If you have ideas or if you have things you want to talk about in the comments with us, just get in the comments, hit us up on DMs, anything like that. There's no surprise. Next week is Kane Part 2, like I said. I also already mentioned Point Foundation at the beginning, which provides financial support for LGBTQ youth who go to accredited U.S. educational institutions. We're going to be donating some money to Pride organizations during Pride Month as a way to kind of give back to the community. We encourage you to give if you can as well. All that to say, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, fuck Glenn Jacobs and fuck anyone with the same beliefs as him. If you are someone who identifies in the LGBTQ community, know that you have a community, know that you are loved, know that you are cared for, know that you are valid, know that you have every single right in the world to exist. You are the same as all of us. Yeah. We are all one species. It does not fucking matter the way you get here. It does not fucking matter what you identify as. And fuck anybody who disagrees with that statement. Protect our youth, man. Protect everyone. That's what we should do, man.
Exactly.
Fuck it. It's bullshit. And I'm very happy that Evan and I are going to be donating in part because we're covering a piece of shit for the next 3 weeks.
We don't agree. We don't agree with what Glenn Jacobs stands for. So instead, we're going to make a stand for ourselves. Donate to some wonderful LGBTQ supporting organizations.
We might donate it in his honor.
Wouldn't that be a fun little treat? Wouldn't that be a fun little thing for Kane? Yes, of course. Happy Pride. But also remember that Pride started as a revolution, as a protest, and that's what it should be. That's where we're going to leave it this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week to talk about more Kane. We'll talk to you then.
We're hot to go, baby.